I'm taking the chance.
At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Atlanta Braves in Game 2 of the doubleheader. We welcome you to this presentation of Mets baseball on PIX 11. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Nissan. We make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Spectrum, switch and save up to 60%. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. By Burns & Harris, suffered pain? You need law. Call 800-PAIN-LAW. And by New York Presbyterian, with world-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine. Stay amazing. Mets have taken 2 of 3 from the Braves out of a 4.5 game lead with 2 games left to play in this 5-game series. This afternoon, Francisco Lindor was front and center. 3 hits, 3 RBIs for Lindor on the afternoon. He's now hit in 23 of his last 25 games. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling with you tonight as the Mets look to sweep a doubleheader from the Braves. The Mets are in the enviable spot of having taken 2 of 3 in the series from the Braves and having Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom going in games 4 and 5. Scherzer's been magnificent all year, but particularly since he's come back from the injured list. What's impressed you most?
Well, his competitiveness, and we knew this. He is a guy that's infectious when he's on the mound and when he's not pitching in the dugout. He's a guy that wants the ball in a game like this. The Mets have a chance to get a 5.5 game lead, 6 in the loss column. He's the kind of guy you want out there and the kind of pitcher that you want to play behind.
One of the toughest things to do is to be a starting pitcher, only pitch every 5th day, and to become a leader of your ball club. And that is what he has become. On the 4 days he's not pitching, he is just so consumed with the game and his teammates. And don't forget, the start he had in Atlanta was a big statement start. That first game, and boy, did he produce.
That came against Max Fried, and he'll face Fried, the Braves ace, again tonight.
Listen, Fried's one of the best left-handers in the game. And last year he pitched that pivotal 6th game. It gave the Atlanta Braves their world championship. He didn't have a great start when he took the loss against the Mets. Only 5 innings pitched. Wait for him to be better tonight.
This is a huge game for the Braves, with deGrom looming tomorrow. Mets will try and sweep the doubleheader. Mets and Braves coming up. 2nd game of 2 at Citi Field on PIX 11. Monday.com. By Adapt Community Network, we change. By 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. And by Lexus, experience amazing. Come out to Citi Field as the Mets take on the Reds in a 3-game series starting on Monday. Get your tickets from the source at Mets.com/tickets. Themes of the game brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
We did put a max effort into these themes of the game. Max Scherzer, the Braves have held their own in 28 games against Scherzer over his career. Max Fried not only pitches well at home, but look at his road numbers. And 22 consecutive doubleheaders without being swept is pretty amazing for the Mets. And in their last 21 doubleheaders, they've gone 17-4 in the first game.
Scherzer stalking in. He's ready to go. He's got that look about him. His first pitch is coming up. Six starts since coming back from the injured list. 1.62 ERA. His worst one was his last one. He gave up 2 whole earned runs in 6 2/3 in his old haunts in D.C., but the Mets scored plenty for him that day, and he got a 7-3 win. And now Scherzer will try and clinch this series for the Mets. Mets have taken 2 of the first 3. They're getting to meet some of their public, and the public seems awfully happy.
Yes.
You notice the kid with Nemo had the biggest smile?
Yeah, of course. Of course. He just radiates warmth.
Smiles beget smiles. Look at those eyes. Huh.
Very nice.
Oh, it's Mr. Smile generating some smiles.
It's like Christmas.
Really is. Can you imagine having been a kid and having this happen, going on the field and meeting big league ball players?
Oh.
Unreal.
Me standing at first base next to Willie McCovey. I don't know if I could have withstood that.
I would have been standing next to Rico Petrocelli.
I'd be next to Bud Harrelson.
There you go. No, I might have ventured out to left to be close to Yaz.
Only to touch the wall.
Yes.
Well, Ronald Acuna Jr., we were speculating that maybe he'd take a game off, maybe DH. Nope, in the lineup, playing right field. Braves lineup brought to you by your local Honda dealers. A-Ray Adrianza gets a start at second base. Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate. Marcelo Zuna back in at DH. Otherwise, the same group going for the Braves. This is a huge game for them, having already lost 2 of 3 and now facing Scherzer.
His last start was against his old team, the Nationals. 6 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs for Max.
Acuna leads off 7 for 14 in this series. And Scherzer's first pitch of the night is a fastball inside, and we're underway.
Well, you're right, Gary. This is a big game. It's like game 2 for the Braves. They've got to even the series here. And the Mets have this 1-2 punch in the back end of this series. It's Scherzer and DeGrom. Boy, you got to feel good about that.
This is what they've been waiting for all year. They had them pitch back-to-back in Washington. Scherzer won. DeGrom pitched well, but the Mets couldn't score for him. What new? Slider off the plate, and Acuna.
Gonzalez called it. The home plate umpire.
Strike. Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire, said he swung at it. I guess he did.
I say niet.
Das Vidania. 2-2 to Acuna with Swanson and Olsen to follow.
Max got a little rosin on the top of his hat.
88 degrees at game time. Summer weather, no dog days here. 2-2 coming to Acuna. Struck him out. Slider fans Acuna, and that's how the night begins.
Well, one of the best in baseball. His whiff rate on his slider is over 50%. And this is why. A big sweeper that starts in the strike zone and ends up 2 feet outside.
3,130 strikeouts for Scherzer. 15th on the all-time list. 10 behind his old teammate Justin Verlander. 24 behind the great Pedro Martinez. Here's Dansby Swanson, 2 for 14 in this series. And Swanson takes a changeup for a strike. 0-1. Swanson has struggled against Scherzer, just 7 for 41 in his career. And the Mets put the full shift on against Dansby. And he fouls back a fastball. Have they been shifting Swanson the whole series? Not really, right?
No, they've been put pretty straight up.
Oh. Got Guillorme playing second base in the nightcap. Escobar getting his first start of the series at third. And Darren Ruff his first start as a Met, allowing Alonso to DH the nightcap. 0-2 coming. And Swanson takes it low. Changeup, 1-2. Matt Olson, the on-deck batter.
2 changeups to the right-handed hitter. You think you're going to see that sweeper that he threw to Acuna.
And he gets the slider. Can't catch up with it. And Scherzer's got back-to-back strikeouts to start the night.
And the defense brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Escobar at third base. Lindor, Iron Mike, Iron Francisco with the 2 gold gloves at shortstop. Ruff at first base. Canna gets the start out in left field. He hasn't started in a while. And that's because of the left-hander as well as Escobar.
Here's Olsen, 4 for 12 in the series. And he gets the first pitch curveball outside for ball 1. And Olsen swings through the fastball.
Got his 70th RBI in game 1. That ties him with Rowdy Tellez of Milwaukee for 6th place.
57 extra base hits on the season, second only to the guy on deck, Austin Riley, in the National League, as the cutter misses in. 2 balls and a strike. Olson back in his hometown of Atlanta, replacing a legend in Freddie Freeman and having himself a fine year. He drives one out to right field. Marte circles over, puts it away, side retired. 1-2-3 for Scherzer. Now the other Max Fried takes the mound to face the Mets. With the Mets, Pete Alonso will DH. Mark Canha and Eduardo Escobar getting their first starts in this series. Nito behind the plate after McCann caught the opener and had a big hit. And the Mets face Max Fried.
Well, his numbers are always exemplary. 10 wins already, 2.5 ERA. Did not look that great against the Mets in that series in Atlanta, but that makes me feel like he's going to be on point tonight.
He was uncharacteristically off kilter in that game. Walked 5 in 5 innings. Well, we speculated about folks getting out of the parking lot after the first game, getting into the parking lot for the second game. It's a bit of a struggle. So the crowd's still filing in as the Mets bat in the bottom of the first. Nimmo 3 for 11 in this series as his on-base percentage back up to .355. Was on base his last 3 plate appearances in the first game, and he takes a fastball strike from Fried. Nimmo, Marte, and Lindor trying to get the Mets off to a fast start. They scored 2 runs in the first inning this afternoon. In all 3 games in this series, the team that scored in the first inning has won the game. And really the pattern's been the same. One team gets off to a big lead. The other team cuts into the lead. The team that got the lead hangs on. Good change up by Fried, and it's 1-2.
The only surprise in the Mets lineup for me is that they had a choice between their 2 left-handed hitting second basemen, Guillorme and McNeil. They opted for Guillorme. McNeil 8 for 22 with 3 doubles against Fried.
I think that's probably a rest thing as much as anything. Curveball bounces and it's 2-2. Well, we've talked about this a lot, the fact that the Mets have done a great job working starters in the first inning, and there it is graphically. They have seen more pitches in the first inning than any team in the majors. Wow. Nimmo's been a big part of that. And he lofts one out to left field. Eddie Rosario waiting for it. 1 out.
And the Brave defense brought to you by Optima. And you've got d'Arnaud behind the plate now. Adrianza at segunda base. The rest of the regulars are out there. Rosario back in left field. And we've seen Harris and we've seen Acuna. Yes.
I might give the cannon to Harris.
Wow, we double dipped.
You know?
Well, it's because we don't have the scooper anymore for Freeman.
Here's Marte, 3 for 12 in the series. Mets best hitter against lefties. And takes first pitch curveball for a strike. Marte hitting .336 against left-handers this year with 5 of his 11 home runs. Another curve.
Oh.
He swings over that one. It's 0-2.
Now you see why, folks. He's got 10 wins under his belt. He's got that big old bender. Oh. Outside corner. It's like you're getting me over to a right-hander to a lefty, Ron.
Pulled on the ground. Riley gets in front of it and throws out Marte, 2 out.
Well, 2 curveballs ago. Let's take a look at the spin, the grip. Comes out, and you can see that ball is a real 12-6 curveball. You don't see those very often. Kershaw in Los Angeles, only a few.
It's the pitch that got him to the major leagues. He's become more refined in his other weapons, but that curveball has always been the big piece of Fried's arsenal. There's Lindor, who's having another terrific series, 5 for 11 in the first 3 games. He's now hit in 23 of his last 25 games. And the fastball rushes inside, ball 1. Lindor now with 77 runs batted in. He needs 4 more to tie Jose Reyes' franchise record for shortstops in a season. It's sharp lead. Swanson has to go under the backhand. And Lindor is aboard.
Base knock.
One shortstop eats up another.
See how they rule that. I know how I'd scored.
On the backhand, they're going to call it a hit. I'm going to have to ask our friend Howie Carpin, who...
And Howie has opted to charge an error to Swanson.
And I agree with Howie.
Okay.
100%.
So
Ball's hit hard. It should have been made. Play should have been made.
So the Mets have a 2-out base runner. Swanson's 6th error of the year. Here's Keith's spotlighted bat, Pete Alonso.
So we'll see how the left-hander works. Pete's improved against left-handers. Remember the first half of the season, he really struggled against left-handers.
He's up to 253 against lefties with 7 of his 29 home runs. 5 for 24 against Fried with 2 home runs.
Well, Fried has struck him out quite a bit, and we'll get a look and see how he works him here. Missed with a fastball up and away, but the catcher was set up inside, so he missed location. And there's an inside setup again.
Fried's got a good move, and Lindor is aware. And C.B. Buckner, the first base umpire, flexing his knees. Not sure whether he was indicating that it was close to a balk move or if he's just loosening up.
Well, maybe he's sore from getting hit in the backside in the first game. So we got the old pitch com, and I would think anything else. Oh, interesting.
And saving the pitch com for when it runs at second.
So they want to establish in with Pete, and we see it all the time. And you have to. You can't let Pete get those big old burly arms fully extended. You know, the whole point in the battle between the pitcher and the hitter is the pitcher establishing inside. If he can do that, then he's got the advantage on the hitter. They're going to go right back to the whip here.
Went a little more out over the plate than he intended, and Pete fouls it back 1-2.
He got it up, didn't miss that much. So 3 straight fastballs, aggressively going after Pete. Here comes the hammer, and we'll see if he goes down and away with it or down and in.
And Pete hooks it into left field for a base hit. Lindor pulls in at second. So after Fried got ahead of him with fastballs, Alonso gets a hit on the curve.
Got it up, a hanging, and got it away. He's lucky he got it away. Because that ball is over that more in the inside part of the plate. That's sitting on a tee for Pete to hit it into the next county.
We talked about it in game 1. He's handling that breaking ball, but that was off right-handed pitching. Didn't know if he could handle the curveball from Fried. He has an answer.
So now Darren Ruff getting his first start as a Met. He has been impressive coming off the bench in his first 2 games with the Mets. He's gone 3 for 5 with a double and 2 RBIs and a chance to do damage in the first inning. And slider starts him off, 0-1.
These 2 new pieces the Mets picked up before the break, and Vogelbach and Ruff, each are going to DH, and each are going to hit behind Pete. And they're dangerous, and they give Pete, I think, the best protection he's had all year.
Ball and a strike to Ruff. Ruff was playing virtually every day for the Giants, 273 at bats. But most of his damage this year has come against lefties. 9 of his 11 home runs have come against left-handers. Hitting .257 against southpaws. And the fastball catches the top of the zone, and it's 1-2 to Ruff.
You know, and it catches the top of the zone. Would we see that strike zone box? I don't know the designation, what it's called. I forget, but that's a strike according to that box. And before the pitch cast, they didn't used to call the high strike, and I think the hitters have to get used to this pitch being called more often.
And Fried blows away Ruff with a fastball and gets out of first inning trouble. Mets strand a pair, no score after 1. $65. Watch all out-of-market regular season games live or on demand, plus MLB Big Inning. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Well, it's the first time in this series we've been scoreless after 1. Max Scherzer starts off Austin Riley with a slider. Riley 3 for 11 in the series. 63 extra base hits after his double in the first game today. That leads the National League. And he takes the slider out of the strike zone, 1-1.
Mets have not allowed Riley to rampage against them offensively. You know, he gets his hits, but they've held him in check.
And Scherzer throws a fastball by him, 1-2.
He had 2 hits in game 1. That's his 41st multi-hit game. 63 extra base hits this year.
There were 25 hits in the opening game, no home runs, after the ball was really sailing out the first 2 games. 2-2 to Riley. Eddie Rosario on deck, and then Travis d'Arnaud for the Braves in the second. So poor Patrick Corbin didn't make it out of the first inning again.
Boy.
Philly's got 6 against him.
I feel for him.
He is having one rough experience. 2-2 on the way, and he fouls it back. Rhys Hoskins homered in the first inning of all 3 games in that series so far. Well, this is Riley, 14 career home runs against the Mets, and he has spread them out.
He's kind of pulled in this series. Hasn't used right center field, and that's why I think the key to his success has been when he came up. He was breaking ball, gave him trouble. He found right center field, and now he's blossomed into. You get more experience, become more of a pull hitter. But you can't forget about that opposite field.
Riley has 3 hits in this series. 1 of the 3 has gone to right. Let's put the shift on against him. 2-2 from Scherzer, and a curveball struck him out.
Wow.
So Max goes to the slow breaking ball and picks up his 3rd strikeout in the first 4 batters.
I don't think I've seen him use that pitch. It's very infrequently.
He uses it against left-handed hitters. You don't see him very rarely against right-handed hitters.
That is a good pitch. Everything hard, and all of a sudden you throw an off-speed breaking ball. Look how far out in front Riley was. What a pitch. That's going to get a lot of hitters. Very dastardly.
Dick Dastardly. 1 out and nobody on. Here's Eddie Rosario, and he takes a first pitch curveball for a strike. That's where Max uses that curveball the most.
Max is like a mad scientist out there. Mixing, matching, figuring out what's working, what's combustible.
Liquids bubbling out of beakers.
Exactly.
Now, his last outing in Washington, he kind of struggled with his command and really had to fight through his start, and he did, of course. He looks much sharper here.
0-2 to Rosario, who had a big game last night. And he strikes him out with a fastball. 96 from Max. 5 up, 5 down, 4 strikeouts.
Well, just set him up and then fastball up and away. The same pitch that we saw him hit off Edwin Diaz in game 1 for a base hit, but he was set up there by Max.
Scherzer 3 wins away from 200 in his career.
200's like the new 300, old 300 or whatever.
Our report brought to you by Astound Broadband. Now Travis d'Arnaud, 2 for 7 in this series. And he takes fastball strike. Travis never had much luck against Scherzer. 5 for 28. Does have a couple of home runs against him. Tries to dot the outside corner and missed. 1-1.
It's very fun to watch Max work. He's got such great command with all his pitches. Notice when he misses, he doesn't miss too much over the middle of the plate. Misses in when he wants to go in. If he misses, he's in. If he wants to go away, he misses away.
d'Arnaud late on the fastball, and it's 1-2.
Against right-handed hitters, though, he's got a lot of what Jacob deGrom does. He just locks in on that glove side, outside, and just works his magic, his preciseness.
Fastballs and sliders. 1-2. d'Arnaud lines one to right toward the line. Comes Marte diving, can't get it. It goes to the corner. d'Arnaud on his way to second, and he'll pull in there with a 2-out double. Ball kept slicing away from Marte. Made the dive, came up empty, and d'Arnaud's the first base runner of the night for the Braves.
This was a ball on the outside part of the plate, and this d'Arnaud good hitting. It's to the glove, maybe a little bit of the plate, but d'Arnaud using the opposite field, which it's always been a strength for him, except when he was here and they told him to hit home runs.
16th double of the year for d'Arnaud. So he's at second with 2 out, and now Marcell Ozuna, who didn't play the first game of the doubleheader today, 1 for 9 in this series, back in the DH spot.
Ooh.
And he takes a weak cut and pops it up, rough into foul territory. He's got it, and that retires the side. Badly fooled on the slider. Ozuna fouls out. No score in the middle of the second. Max Fried worked around some 2-out trouble in the first inning. A little late getting out to the mound for the second. Drive Around the Majors brought to you by Hyundai. Visit buyhyundai.com. We mentioned Dylan Cease last night. He broke Jacob deGrom's record for consecutive starts allowing 1 run or less. Jake had the record with 12 set last year. Cease last night had his 13th in a row as he beat Texas. By the way, he beat Texas 2-1. You know what the Rangers' record in 1-run games is now? 6-24.
Oh.
That's a lot of frustration. Eduardo Escobar 1 for 2 in this series, his first start. In there against the lefty, and he pops one foul. d'Arnaud chasing after, but that'll go out of play. 0-1. Escobar, Canna, and Guillorme for the Mets in the second against Fried, who threw 18 pitches in the first inning, 9 of them after Dansby Swanson's 2-out error. Escobar hits one toward the middle. Adrianza playing behind the bag. First game of the year for the Braves for Adrianza. He played for them last year. He was with the Nats earlier this season. Traded at the deadline. Useful guy. Played just about everywhere. The only A-Ray in Major League history.
A-Ray.
E-H-I-R-E. A-Ray.
I know Man Ray.
A. Ray Smith, former owner of the Tulsa Oilers when I played. What a great guy he was.
Gamma rays. X-ray. You can call me Ray. There's Mark Canha, first start in the series. He's gone 0 for 4 coming off the bench. Started the day in the top 10 in the National League in on-base percentage, 363 right now. He's got a home run in 4 career at-bats against Fried. Fried goes upstairs with the fastball, misses 1-1. Well, Fried's had some great years. 14-7 last year, 7-0 in the short season in 2020, 17-6 in 2019. Brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. Amazing.
It's funny, his game plan against the right-handed hitters for the Mets is he is establishing in this first time through.
He misses with the slider, and he falls behind on count at 3-1. That was an interesting pitch choice. He doesn't usually throw that pitch against right-hand hitters.
I think that was he was trying to throw a cutter, and it ended up turning into a slider. A fine line.
And he pops the inside corner with a fastball, and it's 3-2 to count it.
Got a call there. You don't get too much from Fried. Very, very simple. Pitches out of that hybrid stretch. Doesn't really step back, step to the side. He just picks his foot up and puts it down. And then he proceeds to use that slope of the mound to get him down the hill.
Out to right field. Acuna back, warning track, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, he ran it down nicely.
The motion we were talking about before. Just he'll step a little bit with his foot up and to the batter, just a tiny bit, and then he'll use the slope and the way he leans into the hitter in the plate to really generate some momentum. So watch the step, just a little step there, up, and you can see his body start to work down that slope.
Yeah, we know what impressed me last year on him in postseason was he got rocked in Game 2 by the Astros, and he came back and pitched a very important Game 6 and had a terrific bounce back. He went 6 innings and shutout ball.
Well, he had kind of like a black and white postseason. It's either was an unbelievable start or he really got handled, which can happen in the post, right?
Guillorme starting against the left-hander. He's got 3 hits and 6 career at-bats against Fried. That might have played into the decision-making. Guillorme's got a 5-game hitting streak going, so he's getting to play a whole lot right now. He fouls off the slider, and it's 1-2. One-two coming to Guillorme. And the curveball got him looking. Side retired.
That was nasty.
Second strikeout for Fried. Guillorme fusses with Manny Gonzalez after taking that curveball. No score after 2. Steve Gelbs.
Well, Keith, you were mentioning in the last inning that when Max Scherzer misses, generally he's not missing over the heart of the plate. He's missing off the plate. And it's something that, made me think about watching him in spring training when he would do his bullpen sessions. And he would actually yell out at himself when he would miss a breaking ball, a slider off the plate. He would yell, "That's a great miss. That's a great miss, Max." He was always talking to himself, but clearly thinking, I'm trying to hit a spot, but if I'm going to miss that spot, I'm not missing over the heart of the plate.
He's a perfectionist.
Michael Harris foul tips a fastball, and it's 1-1. Harris having a terrific series, 5 for 11 in the first 3 games. To go with his terrific defense in center field. He's batting 8th in the order in this game.
Hey, Ron, how do you work on something like that?
Yeah, well,
how do you work on if you're going to miss your spot, missing in the right spot.
I used to try to get hitters or someone to stand in the box. That would help you kind of give you the vision of where you could start a pitch and end up 6 or 8 inches outside. I think that was key. But, Steve, your report speaks to there's pitching and there's PhD pitching. And what happens to these guys, Scherzer and others, is that not only do they control the strike zone, they control everything around the strike zone. That is the art. The ability to make a pitch appear out of your hand to be a strike and not end up a strike, gold.
Two and two to Harris, and the curveball lifted to center field. Nimmo eases over to the gap and puts it away, 1 out. Max turned 38 years old. A couple of starts back when he beat the Yankees. He has the lowest ERA of any Met pitcher this old. The record belongs to R.A. Dickey, who had an ERA of 2.73 in his Cy Young season in 2012 in his age 37 season. Max is at 2.13. Here's the switch hitter, A-Ray Adrianza, who's first at bat this year for the Braves. Played for them last year, and he hooks one foul into the screen.
Gary, think of this. At this point in his season, in any of the great seasons that he's had, he has the lowest ERA he's ever had at this point. His ERA plus is 188, 100 is average. And his opposition OPS, 515. That's the lowest it's ever been at this point in his career. So at 38, you could make the argument that a 3-time Cy Young Award winner might be having his best year.
Well, you make the great point. You know, we've watched Max a lot over the years from the other side. See him 3, 4, 5 times a year. But watching the intelligence with which he pitches, I'm wondering whether that's something that has developed or is something that he's always had.
I think he's always had it. I just think it's more acute now because his stuff 5, 6, 7 years ago was A+. Now it's A. So he keeps it at A+ with his intelligence.
Ooh,
And he thought he had strike 3. It looked like he was well above the knees and certainly had plenty of plate. But Manny Gonzalez called it a ball. So that gives Adrianza a life. It's 3 and 2 with 1 out, and Acuna on deck.
I had an interesting conversation, Ron, with Max, and I made it as brief as I could in Miami. And I asked him about the cutter he throws to the left-hander.
And he gets the call there on Adrianza. Wasn't going to get both those calls.
That was a strike, too.
5 strikeouts for Scherzer, 2 down in the inning.
High ball umpire. He said he started throwing the cutter. He said he could not in Detroit get Joe Mauer out. He said, I didn't have a cutter. I had the slider and the curve. And he said, I was a pitcher on his staff. I can't think of his name, a right-hander. Threw a cutter, was getting Mauer out. And he said, how do you get Mauer out? He said, I throw him cutters. He said, how do you throw your cutter? And that's when he learned to throw the cutter. That's what it takes.
Acuna pops one up, foul. Coming back is Nido. Might have room, and he does. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Scherzer. No score in the third. Presbyterians stay amazing. Tyler McGill has been around the team during this homestand. Looks like he should be ready to go out on a rehab assignment sometime fairly soon, which would get him back late August, early September. And when he comes back, he will almost certainly be used out of the bullpen, which should be fascinating. Tomas Nido leads off in the home third against Max Fried. And a first pitch curve swung and missed, 0-1.
We knew that Tomas would be swinging in the first pitch. He's a hacker boy.
Nido started last night, went 1 for 3 with a double and a walk. McCann caught the first game today. I thought that McCann's hit in that first game today was as important a hit for a particular player that as any Met has gotten all year.
Yeah. He had to have it. Needed
Just
it.
to get off the schneid.
Yeah.
You know, fairly or not, we're starting to hear some boos.
Yes.
Just his second game back from the injured list.
And I hate to hear the boos because he's a guy that puts his time in and hustles. It's been a struggle for him.
He throws a fastball by Nido, 2-2. Brandon Nimmo on deck.
One of the strengths of this team is its starting pitching. So just appreciate what Nido and McCann can do for your pitchers, calling games, blocking pitches.
Two-two to Nido. He drills one to left field. Rosario goes back. Can't get it. It hops up against the wall. And Nido heads to second. He's got a leadoff double. Ninth double of the year for Tomas Nido.
You don't see Nido pull the ball that often. Got a cutter that stayed out over the plate, boy, and he cleared it. Rosario got just a surprise Rosario.
He caught that in the World Series last year. Remember that amazing catch he made?
So the Mets have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Nimmo flying to left his first time. And Brandon looking to bunt, pops it up. And d'Arnaud makes the grab.
Oh, I don't question that. This is a game right now where you got two of the best pitchers in the National League. It could be a one-run game.
I would assume that Brandon was doing this on his own.
Yes.
And he wasn't bunting the first base. That was his issue there. He's trying to push it to third base, and he kind of got the head out, and that's why it popped up.
It's a big out for Fried. And they'll face Marte with a runner at second and one out. Marte pulled one on the ground to Riley his first time up. Got a steady diet of curveballs from Fried that first at bat. And this time a first pitch changeup outside for ball one.
It's twice in this series. Nimmo tried to bunt in game 2, was thrown out by Riley.
Another changeup. That's outside. It's 2-0. We got Lindor and Alonso to follow. Max Fried now 28 years old. Traded to the Braves after the Padres took him in the first round out of Harvard Westlake High School. Came over in a deal for Justin Upton. Has worked very much in the Braves' favor. Marte slashes one foul.
Almost took first base coach Wayne Kirby with him. Always has a smile on his face.
Had it all the way.
One of those guys that you need in the clubhouse. Just keeps it loose.
Nido at second and one out. And Marte takes a curveball outside. So Fried keeping everything away from Marte. Change ups, curveball, fastball.
He's pitching to Marte like he's trying to be careful with Marte.
Well, he can jump right out of the frying pan and into the fire with Lindor and Alonso behind him. It's hard to walk Marte, but he does.
Nice. Good at
The Mets
bat.
have 2 men on.
And this is what the Mets do. You've got to throw strikes.
3-1 curveball.
I mean, he pitched like he wanted no part of it.
Yep.
So now he's got to face Lindor with 2 on. Lindor hit one off Swanson's glove for an error in the first inning. And Francisco's been red hot. 3-hit game in the opener today. Drove in 3 of the Mets' 8 runs in that 8-5 win. First and second and 1 out. And Lindor cracks one into center field for a base hit. Nido will be held at third against the arm of Harris. And the Mets have the bases loaded for Alonso, and Harris just threw that ball on the fly to home plate. Once bitten, twice shy for Joey Cora.
And knowing your runner, your lead runner, Nido, doesn't run well. First pitch attacking Lindor.
All these hits by Lindor up the middle. Locked in. Boy, that took a funky hop on Harris. He was lucky.
Didn't get by him.
Yeah, didn't get by him.
Muff it.
You try to keep that ball in front of you just in case it takes that hop.
So here's Alonso. And everybody in this ballpark senses this moment with Scherzer and Fried going head to head. This is a moment of truth early in this game. Alonso had a base hit to left field his first time up. He's got 2 grand slams this year. And Pete flies one shallow right. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Nido races home with the first run of the game. Just as he did in the first game, Alonso floats one into right field for a base hit to drive in the game's first run. And it's 1-0 New York. RBI number 93 for Pete Alonso.
Oh, Pete got jammed, but so strong, able to hit a little flare out there. And a nice deke by Acuna. Yeah. And that, I think, held up Marte from scoring.
So now Darren Ruff with a chance to do some damage. Bases loaded, still only 1 out, a run in. It's 5 RBIs for Alonso in this series.
Let's see if Ruff looks in at any point in this at bat, because Fried really bullied him inside last at bat.
Gets the first pitch curveball over, 0-1. Fried struck out Ruff with high fastballs the first time. Marte at third, Lindor at second, Alonso at first with 1 out. And Ruff shoots one down to first, grabbed by Olsen, out at second, and now Fried trying to cover, and he can't make the catch. Marte scores, here comes Lindor, and he will score. 2 runs come home, and it's 3-0 New York. And Fried is hurt.
Oh, no.
I thought he fell on his shoulder. Hopefully he did not.
Fried trying to get over to cover. He broke late. There was no way Olsen could get back to cover on the return throw. And as Swanson bounced it in and Fried tried to grab it, he went sprawling. I think he hit his head, and it looks like he's a little dazed.
Well, I thought he might have fallen on his left shoulder because the way he threw, but if he bounced head off the turf, then certainly concussion protocol.
So it was as he was trying to throw the ball home and he whacked his head.
He just hit his head,
But
yes.
did you see how I was worried about his left shoulder that folded underneath him? That's the moneymaker.
And it's a case right there. Lucky for Fried, it wasn't AstroTurf. It was normal grass and Mother Earth. Here's Pete coming in hard. That's made the difference right there on that throw to first. You've got the pitcher coming over on the run. It makes a difficult play. This is all Pete right here.
Swanson threw a changeup, and Fried trying to throw it home to try and get Lindor wound up landing on his shoulder and his head. It's a fielder's choice, 1 RBI. Second run scores on a throwing error by Swanson, and Fried looks like he's going to be okay.
You know, it's a tough play for the pitcher, number one. This is just, you don't see it in today's game very often where a runner has an effect on breaking up a double play. And Pete certainly did because of the new rule where you can't slide into the runner. But he definitely got Swanson uncomfortable, and he made the bad throw in an awkward position.
Second error of the game for Swanson. And now here's Escobar with 2 out and a runner at first. So give an RBI to Ruff on the fielder's choice. Second run scores on the error. And the Mets lead 3-0. We'll see whether there are any ill effects for Fried now after taking that tumble. Ruff at first with 2 down. And Escobar hits one out to center field, chasing Harris back. He'll get there, and he makes the catch to retire the side. But the Mets put up a 3-spot. Alonso drives in the game's first run, and the Mets are up 3-0 after 3.
Don't see it. Pete coming in hard. That's just hustle. It's a clean play. Look what happened with Swanson. He had to throw off the wrong foot in the air. Nothing on the throw. Fried's a little late getting there, but that ball was a bullet off the bat of Ruff.
So now Swanson has made 2 errors in the field. Leads off in the 4th inning with the Braves down 3-0. And facing Scherzer, who's given up just 1 base runner through the first 3.
Let's see if Max can close the shop.
Swanson struck out his first time. And the slider off the plate, a ball and a strike.
You know, another thing too, Gary, Ronnie mentioned too, is that Swanson was playing pull, and he had such a long way to run to second base, and he was late getting there, which set up Pete to make that slide.
Swanson no chance on that slider, 1-2. And also, I mean, and it happens all the time with left-handers. Fried was kind of late getting over there, wasn't in good position, even had he been able to corral that throw. Well, he was fortunate he didn't get hurt worse.
No fooling.
I mean, first of all, the throw when it bounced came up, hit him in the arm, in
bicep.
his pitching arm.
Yeah.
Then he goes to make the throw and he hits his shoulder and his head. It could have been a whole lot worse.
I mean, he could have had his foot all over the bag and gotten spiked. There's a whole lot of things that could have gone wrong there.
Like you did in Game 6 of the World Series last year. First inning.
2-2 to Swanson. Got him looking. Fastball in the outside corner. 6 strikeouts through the first 11 batters for Scherzer. Second time he's gotten Swanson.
This is just paint me a wagon. Okay, let's watch Fried, who's one of the best athletes, Gold Glove winner. It falls off the other side and hesitated just that beat, and that was enough. It was hustled at first. He did everything he could after that, but that half a beat cost him.
I mean, there was nothing Olsen could have done. Looked like he got it there on time. It's just that Swanson was late, and then he was so far off the line, there was no chance for him to get back to cover.
If Swanson's not late, he throws a strike to Max, and then whether he's safe or not, who knows? But at least the other run wouldn't score it.
Olson flied out to right his first time up. Mets have the full shift on against him. And a good cutter by Scherzer, 1-2.
I mentioned that Swanson was in the shift. I could stand corrected. He's in a normal shortstop position. It's not that far to go. This ball was just hit so hard. He's there to make the play. And credit Pete. That is just good hustle.
Olson fouls it back.
So the ball hit so hard made Swanson late to the bag.
Yep.
But your point, your initial point, Keith, is a great one, because these days, normally those middle infielders are planted to make that turn on the double play. Used to be that throwing in the air was something that every shortstop knew how to do.
Well, you know what? Here it is again. You're making rules in the game, and then it's a rarity when this play like this happens in a critical series, and they're not used to having someone bearing down on them, and they don't know how to do it. They're just not, or they do. They're not used to it.
Yeah.
2-2 coming. Lined and just past the glove of Guillorme, and Olson's got a base hit. Well, the Rover can't get everything.
I mean, that was a good pitch. It was just better hitting by Olson. It was so strong. Pitch was in on him, got enough wood on it to just get it by Guillorme.
So that's the second hit against Scherzer. 1 out and 1 on for Riley, who struck out his first time up. When Scherzer struck out Riley his first time up, he struck him out with a curveball. And you mentioned how rare that is. Well, Sarah Langs has come up with this. It was the first right-hand batter that Scherzer has struck out with a curveball this year.
I agree. I've not seen it.
Last time was last September. He struck out Nick Castellanos with a curveball. It's the last time he did it.
So it's like, hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
It's like we have Sarah in the booth. She just speaks to us.
She said he's thrown 5 prior 2-strike curveballs to right-hand hitters, but hadn't gotten a strikeout on any of them. Now he's ahead on Riley 0-2 with sliders. And a ground ball chance for 2. Lindor to Guillorme on to first, not in time. Riley gets down the line quickly, and
Yes.
Lindor hesitated just a little beat getting rid of that ball.
He didn't hesitate. He had a tough time in the exchange. Just a little. I think he fumbled for the grip. Lindor, 2 hands. You can see he was looking for the ball just a little bit unsure, and that was the difference. But I don't think they turned 2 because anyway, Riley runs well.
It was interesting. Olson came in hard as well, but he put his hands on Guillorme. That's something you don't usually see, and usually you could take a look at that if you wanted to.
So 2 out, Riley at first, and here's Rosario, who struck out his first time up. And he goes after a fastball and was late, 0-1.
Well, watch Lindor. He'll have to move a little bit to his right. Sidles over, gets in front in position to throw. 2 hands. Thank you. Everything perfect. He just didn't get the proper grip. Everything perfect.
3 on the right side against Rosario. And he goes after a changeup and misses. And now it's 0-2.
Eddie's a free swinger. They're still talking about the play.
Scherzer has struck out 6. Rosario lifts one to center field. Should be easy for Nimmo. Looking through the twilight. No problem. Side retired. Shutdown inning for Scherzer after he gets the lead. 3-0 Mets in the 4th. NLE standings brought to you by Floor and Decor. Unmatched selection, unbeatable prices. Mets have picked up a game on the Braves in the first 3 games of this series. Now 4.5 in front, trying to make it 5.5 tonight. 1 more to play tomorrow. Beautiful sunset in New York. Mets trying to sunset the Braves. After tonight's game, there will be a third of the season left. This is game number 108. So still plenty of baseball to be played and plenty of matchups between these two teams. 1 tomorrow, then 4 in Atlanta week after next, and then 3 at the end of the season. That's a 6 of 10 from the Braves now. And they lead tonight 3-0. Mark Canha flied one to the warning track in right field his first time up. And takes first pitch curve in the dirt from Max Fried, ball 1. Well, Fried back out there. Good to see him able to do that after a scary moment in the last inning. Facing the lower third of the order, Canha, Guillorme, and Nido.
The way he fell is an injury that I used to see a lot in football, where you dislocate your shoulder when you push it right into the turf, which he did. But such a great athlete, able to get through it.
He was clearly dazed, but he did a quick concussion protocol and he was all right. Change up in for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Canha.
You know what I'm thinking, Gary, is, and that's a rare thing what happened where he slammed his head. Suppose he had the pitch, the thing in his hat, in his hat. That's a metal, and that could have really been, the pitch comm could have, if it's in his hat and that's on the side, that could have really hurt him.
Hadn't thought about that. For long, pitchers will be wearing helmets.
Did we have a cat who threw left-handed wars?
Yes.
Kind of
Alex Torres.
Yeah, he had been hit in the head, so he's trying to protect himself.
And Canha chases a fastball upstairs for strike 3. Third strikeout for Fried. It may be sheer coincidence, but since Canha the last few days has been playing less, his bats have been a little different.
He looks a little in between to me.
It's hard being an irregular, not playing every day. It's a game of rhythm, and I always said, I'll go along with the Buck down there. I won't say slump. I'll say ebbs and flows. And he's in one. He's in an ebb right now.
Well, the interesting dilemma with Canha, as Luis Guillorme steps in, is that he's now in, you don't want to call it a platoon fight.
Yeah.
He's at least in a position sharing mode with Naquin. But Canha has done far better against righties this year than he has against lefties. And now he's not getting to face righties hardly at all. So it's a little odd for him. Guillorme took a call, third strike his first time up. And a curveball hit on the ground. Adrianza to his left. 2 out. Well, the Mets are 29 games over 500. But maybe more importantly, there's 7 games over 500 against teams with winning records, while the Braves are under 500 against winning teams. Mets are trying to get to 30 games over 500 tonight for the first time this year. Here's Nido, got the Mets started in the third with a long double to left. And he takes a changeup at the knees for a strike.
Last thought on Canha. To me, he feels like a guy that is a routine guy, and he's been taken out of his routine, very simply.
On the ground for Swanson to handle. 2 errors tonight and a high throw there. And Olson bailed him out by getting the tag on Nido. Rough night in the field for Dansby Swanson. But Olson, a 2-time Gold Glover. Sunday nights on Pix 11 at Sports Nation with Mark Malusis, Joe Masseri, and Justin Walters. Tomorrow the guys will look back on what was an eventful week in New York baseball, including a busy trade deadline day, Jacob deGrom's season debut, and all the highlights from this Mets series with the Braves. That's tomorrow night at 11 right here on New York's very own. Citi Field's been a busy place today. Mets won the day game 8-5. They lead the nightcap 3-0. And just as Scherzer was about to throw a pitch, the bat boy ran behind the plate.
Can't do that. Oh boy.
I mean,
He has to go right on the chalkboard 100 times. I shall not run across the home plate area when the game's in play.
Especially if Max Scherzer's on the mound.
yeah, it's so dangerous, right? What if Max had thrown that pitch? Fouled straight back by d'Arnaud.
d'Arnaud has one of the 2 hits against Scherzer tonight, an opposite field double in the second. And he takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-2. d'Arnaud, Ozuna, and Harris for the Braves.
He's got 2 gears with that fastball. The one he throws to spots, and then if he gets ahead, he adds 2 or 3 miles per hour.
Throws the changeup down, and it's 1-2. Well, I don't know what's more impressive. What Max is doing at age 38 or what his former teammate Justin Verlander is doing at 39.
Yeah.
Those two. My goodness. That's hooked down the left field line on the curveball, and that's going to land in the corner. Another extra base hit for d'Arnaud. He's in at second base with his second double of the night.
He got that off-speed curveball and was out in front, but stayed back, let go with one hand, able to pull it. So he's got a double down the right field line and now a double down the left field line. You can see out in front, let go with one hand. That's why he pulled it, because it's the off-speed curve. And it wasn't a bad pitch.
So after Scherzer had not struck out a hitter, a right-hand hitter with a curveball all year, he got Riley earlier and he tried to do it again.
Right.
This time to d'Arnaud.
Got a little too much plate. The one to Riley was 6 inches off the plate.
There's Ozuna, who fouled out his first time up. First pitch slider, and that's how he got Ozuna out the last time. Down to foul out on a first pitch slider.
Ozuna just really doesn't look good. He's mired in his ebb of the season.
1 for 10 in this series.
He just he's a swinger,
but he always feels dangerous, doesn't he?
You make a mistake and he'll put a hurt on you. He's a dangerous hitter.
19 home runs this year.
Used to call him cut and slashers.
And he picks off the outside corner with that fastball.
He can paint that fastball outside knees to right-hand hitters. And it's such an effective pitch.
Blue uniform really brings out his blue eye.
Kind of Ozuna. I like his brown eye better.
I personally don't have a favorite, but they are unique in their own rights.
They are the windows of the soul.
2 windows with different shades.
Yeah.
1-2 coming. Struck him out.
Boy, he's wicked.
He was helpless against that slider. 7 strikeouts for Scherzer.
You know, and he's so intelligent that he's aware that Ozuna's not in good shape.
I mean, the different variety of pitches he has struck out the hitters on. Sweeping sliders, sharp sliders, fastballs up. We saw the curveball that struck out Riley, a cutter on the higher part of the plate, paint fastball to Swanson, and then the last one. Just the sharpest slider that if you drew it up, that's exactly how you'd want it to throw.
Now Michael Harris, who flied to center his first time, and he hits one off the glove of Scherzer. He'll try and chase it down, but he'll have no play. An infield hit for Michael Harris.
You see him scamper after that ball?
Like a young pup.
It's a base hit. He saves a run here. I was getting through the infield.
Max talked early in the year a lot about his basketball coach in Missouri.
And you saw
there was a ball on the floor, he was getting it.
And you saw Guillorme's fall down.
Loose ball.
He went down on the floor. So both pitchers have hit the deck in this game. Scherzer came up with no problem. So that'll get the tying run to bat. Ray Adrianza, the number 9 hitter, first and third and 1 out. 4 hits now against Scherzer.
Okay, it's a chance for the Braves to get back in this game.
Adrianza took a call third strike his first time up and his first at bat for the Braves this year. Adrianza starting at second base after Orlando Arcia started the first 3 games of the series as they await the return of Ozzie Albies. He's been out a long time, and they hope to have Albies back by the first week in September.
Good
Adrianza
pitch.
gets one off the fists, a foul ball, and it's 0-2.
Up and in, tied him up.
Scherzer's throwing first pitch strikes to each of the last 10 batters now. He knows he needs to keep his pitch count down. The bullpen's limited. Ottavino and Lugo and Diaz all pitched in the first game of this doubleheader. 0-2 coming to Adrianza. There goes Harris. It's hit on the ground. And the throw is going to come home for the tag by Nino. He's out!
Didn't hustle.
Darno came down the line. Guillorme was going to throw the ball to first, but he saw he had a shot at Darno, and he made a perfect throw to Nino, and they get the out at home. What a play.
That is heads up, and that is just lack of hustle and assuming by Darno. That is embarrassing. Much as I like Travis, that is inexcusable. That's great play by Guillorme. He not only shows the glove with his hands, but also with his brain. That is just, I've never seen that play.
Playing back, runner going. You assume the out's going to be made at first, and Darno jogging in and then trying to turn it on, but Guillorme gunned him down.
He hesitated. I mean, I'm sorry, he did not lollygag home, so I apologize right there. But he had no reason to hesitate. The ball was on the ground. The Mets are going to try to turn 2, even though the runner's running. You go home. They're playing back. Oh, wow.
So a huge out. Now they're 2 away, and Acuna fouls one off. It looked like the Braves were going to get a cheap run on a ground ball, but Guillorme was having none of it.
What a play, folks. What a heady play by Guillorme.
He just continues to pay dividends.
You can't put that on the chalkboard and work on it in spring training. That has to be instinctual.
Acuna struck out and fouled out 0 for 2. And he chops one toward third. That's a foul ball. Flagged nicely by Escobar, but it was foul.
Here's the first inning off Acuna. Fastball in, first pitch. Fastball away, fouled back. Slider, check. This is the second at bat. Changeup down and in. Bad slider to strike him out. Everything's set up. Here's the pop-up right there, but everything is set up with Scherzer knows he can get Acuna to chase that slider away.
Yep. They're having a little trouble right here. I wonder if Max would like to fire one inside first before he goes with slider away.
0-2 to Acuna. Away with the fastball, 1-2. Well, you know he wants to get to the slider again.
Yes. That's everything is just show him a pitch in to let him think there, but he's going to get his out pitch is to get him to chase.
Harris at second, Adrianza at first with 2 out. 1-2 coming to Acuna. And the changeup misses down. 2-2. Dansby Swanson would be next.
Does it feel like the Scherzer Judge confrontations?
2-2. Bouncing ball foul.
This is such a beautiful confrontation because if you make your pitch with your slider, Acuna has a hole. If you miss, we've seen already in this series, he hits it 450 feet.
2 out, 2 on, 2-2 to Acuna.
Oh,
Got him looking. Fastball in the inside corner, and Scherzer fans Acuna for the second time. 8 strikeouts in 5 brilliant innings for Max Scherzer. Helped out by Luis Guillorme and his heads-up play. Well, Luis Guillorme making a play that most second basemen wouldn't have dreamt of to help keep the Braves off the board.
just a real heads-up play.
Now Brandon Nimmo takes a curveball out of the strike zone from Max Fried as we start the bottom of the 5th.
So, as an infielder, just one more little thing on the play by Guillorme. He's facing home plate, and he's also facing the third base line. The ball's hit right at him, but he has to track the baseball too that's coming on the ground to him. But he can still have the peripheral vision to see that he's got a shot.
Nimmo hits it sharply, but right to Adrianza on one hop, 1 out.
So it's a bullet that you have to make a play on. You have to decide intelligently that you're coming home. If you get him out at home, it's one of the most brilliant plays you'll ever see by an infielder. If you don't get him out, it's a brutal play because it's 3-0 and now a runner's in and it could be a big inning.
Exactly.
Well,
wow.
The other thing is, you know, you go through as an infielder, right, a pre-pitch process. What am I going to do if the ball's hit to me? But now it's complicated by the fact that Harris is running.
Right.
So that takes the double play out of it.
Forgot about
you
that.
have to reorder your priorities.
So I believe if Harris wasn't running, they're going for 2.
Right.
'Cause that ball's hit hard.
Yeah.
They're going for 2. So being aggressive for the Braves, everything's going the Mets' way, and you got your infielder, your Guillorme, who's just phenomenal defensive player. What a skilled player he is.
Marte has grounded out, walked and scored a run. And Fried has kept everything away from him tonight, 1-1.
So folks, why are we so animated about that play? None of us have ever seen it before.
Exactly. And it's just it's a heady play. It's wonderful. That's great baseball.
And you have to know your runners too, right?
Yep.
I mean, if you got a faster guy at third base, you don't even think about trying that play. Fried throwing his curveball more than he's accustomed to tonight. Changeup fouled off, 2-2. Well, Fried, since he banged his head, has retired everybody.
Really, with the error by Swanson, you know, it's going to be 2-0.
To Marte, and he fouls off the fastball. Well, I look forward to the ovation that Jacob deGrom gets at Citi Field tomorrow. Probable starters brought to you by the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Hollywood.
And first chance for Mets fans to see Spencer Strider, who is something.
Young pitcher is going to pitch a big game tomorrow.
It's more than just a mustache. Curveball fouled off.
It is a 4 o'clock game tomorrow, not a 1 o'clock game.
That's a Buck Showalter special. He knew that coming out of a day-night doubleheader today, the last thing these guys would want to do is to show up for a 1 o'clock game tomorrow. So he had that game before.
Listen, they're going to be playing the last 4 innings in this game tired.
Well, we've seen some tired play already tonight, which should not surprise anybody. It was awfully hot this afternoon, and they played for 4 hours. Marte with a long turn at bat. 3:53 officially, which, by the way, Doug Kern came up with is the longest first game, 9-inning, first game of a doubleheader that the Mets have played at home. The longest home 9-inning first game of a doubleheader they've ever played.
Ever.
3:53 ever. Yeah.
Including Shea.
Including Shea, Polo Grounds. You know, back when they played at the Polo Grounds in Shea, they didn't play routine 3.5, 4-hour games.
That's right.
This is a relatively new phenomenon. This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat from Fried to Marte. He fouls off another fastball.
Boy, he's making it tough on him. Another one of these typical Met at bats.
Grinding, they call it. Grinding. Again, the 3-2. And it's in for a call, strike 3.
Good pitch.
On the top of the zone with the fastball. 4th strikeout for Fried. He wins that 10-pitch marathon from Marte.
Boy, another up and in fastball with 2 strikes. Seen a lot of that in this series so far.
So now 2 out and nobody on. Fried's now retired 6 in a row. Here's Lindor, 1 for 2. He had a base hit and scored a run in the 3rd. Lindor is now hitting .331 since July 1st. That is quite a long hot streak, 5 weeks. They say that the best trades are the ones that help both sides. So far, if you look at the Lindor trade, it's helping both sides.
Yeah.
Lindor has starred this year for the Mets. Rosario and Jimenez have been outstanding for the Guardians. Changeup outside. It's 2-1.
Fried has not been able to land his changeup yet in this game, so that has been his 3rd weapon. When he's landing that's when he has those special games.
And another changeup misses, and it's 3-1. He has had a wonderful year.
24 walks.
It's 1.6 walks per 9. Although the last time he faced the Mets, he walked the ballpark. 5 walks in 5 innings in that start.
Averaging 19 outs per start. It's not Alcantara, but it's great.
But it's consistent for Fried.
Yep.
I mean, for his career now, he's 50-21 with a 2.85 ERA. That's his career.
It's like having the same arc as Cole Hamels' early career.
Good call. Another 3-2 count. And Lindor bangs one on the ground for Swanson. Plays the big hop and throws him out to retire the side. 7 in a row retired by Fried. We're through 5 in game 2 of the doubleheader. Mets up 3-0. 6th inning. 3-0 New York. Mets have already swept a doubleheader from the Braves this season back in May. Trying to do it again tonight. Mets have specialized in doubleheaders. 6 of them before tonight. They've swept 3, split the other 3. Last year, they swept 4, split 10. They have not been swept in a doubleheader since late in the 2020 season by the Nationals, when one of the wins went to Max Scherzer. Dansby Swanson leads off in the 6th and fouls one off. technically it's only 21 because one of those is the suspended game last year with the Marlins, which doesn't count, but that's only technical.
Don't let that get in the middle of a good story.
That's right. It's been a rough game for Swanson. 2 strikeouts at the plate, 2 errors in the field.
Well, it's a guy who plays every day, is out there for 4 hours. Not that it's an excuse, and he would never use it as an excuse, but
and
not easy.
If you're the Braves right now, you just can't afford to sit any regulars. This game is of vital importance. 4.5 games behind. Could go to 5.5 tonight, and you're facing DeGrom tomorrow. 1-2 coming. Changeup misses, and it's 2-2. Olson and Riley to follow. Two coming. Slider popped up. Ruff might have a play and foul ground. Chased by Scherzer too, but it's Ruff to make the catch. Scherzer's amazing. So I'm scrambling behind the mound after he deflected a ball the last inning. This time he's sprinting into foul territory. But Ruff makes the play for the first out.
You see Max walk around a little bit after that sprint over there. Just collect his thoughts, collect his wind, and then back at it.
You talk about attack mode. Not only has Scherzer faced 20 batters and thrown 17 first pitch strikes, but he's been 0-2 on 8 of the 20 batters. Matt Olson out of base hit to right field his last time up. And fouls back a fastball. Again, Max understands the imperative in this game. The Mets used their primary relievers in game 1. He knows he needs to get deep into this one. And I would think that would enhance the attack mode. Lifted to shallow center. Nimmo coming on. Lindor going out, and Lindor calling all the way. 2 out. 2 batters, 2 pop-ups, 2 outs.
The biggest compliment you can be paid by your manager if you're a starting pitcher. It's what Buck Showalter calls Scherzer all the time around us. He calls him a ball player. And all starting pitchers would love to be considered that, because inside lies an everyday player. Lack of talent puts you on the mound.
The Mets have a few of those. I mean, DeGrom, obviously, great athlete. Taijuan Walker, great athlete. Started out as a Diamondback. Made his bones with the Tigers. Pulled toward the left field corner by Riley, and that is down foul.
I think he broke his bat, got it on the end.
Someone snagged it.
New instrument required.
Look at these shots. Hydra.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
Which eye is Jekyll and which eye is Hyde?
Yeah, right.
He said the brown eye is his baseball eye.
It is.
And the blue eye is his Max eye. He's ahead on Riley, 1-2. And Riley fouls off the fastball. Max has struck out 8 tonight. One-two from Scherzer to Riley. And he fouls off another one.
See if he comes inside, Ron. He's fought off a couple pitches on the outside corner.
It's also 3 fastballs in a row. It's a smart pitcher pitching a great hitter differently when no one's on base. So the next time he comes up, if someone's on base, he can alter the game plan.
One-two coming. And the slider lofted down the right field line. Marte with a long run, and it lands foul. So Riley has gone foul from line to line.
That was one of the few hanging sliders for Max in this game. Riley jammed himself on the pitch.
Riley's just having a great year. 950 OPS. The Mets so far have avoided any major damage from Riley. He's 3 for 13 in this series. 1-2 coming. And he fouls off the fastball. So Riley giving a good accounting of himself here.
Let's see if he drops the Acuna on him, Keith. Comes in with a high, hard one.
I want to see. Oh, you mean the inside fastball?
Yep.
Yeah, up and in. I agree.
Struck him out with a curveball back in the second. And he gets this one in on his fists with a changeup, and he fouls it.
Interesting selection.
Riley's fouled off 5 in a row since the count got to 2 strikes. Boosting Max's pitch count over 90. His season high was 105. 9th pitch of this at bat coming to Riley. And he rolls over the slider and fouls it.
Good at bat by Riley. This at bat right here could bring the Mets bullpen into play for 9 outs.
One more inning.
And then the question is, who's it going to be? Because
you got May ready.
That's the one guy. Because Lugo, Ottavino, and Diaz all pitched in the first game.
Diaz can go 2.
1-2 coming. Bouncing ball. Lindor comes in to get it and throws out Riley. And Scherzer wins that confrontation. A 10-pitch extravaganza. A 1-2-3-6 for Max. They represent millions of New Yorkers, and they're facing off in an August primary. Here from Carolyn Maloney and Jerry Nadler, plus other top challengers, and a live debate here on Pix 11. That's Tuesday night at 8, right here on New York's very own. Always nice to celebrate your birthday at the ballpark, especially if a team already has a win under their belts, got the lead in the second game. Pete Alonso has something to do with that. Drove in the first run in the first game, drove in the first run in the second game, each time with a bloop single to right. Rosario doing a little housekeeping. Here's your in-game box score brought to you by Spectrum. Alonso has 2 hits. Mets got all 3 of their runs in the third against Max Fried, who has not allowed a base runner since. Alonso now 6 for 14 in this series. And takes a fastball away. Ball 1. Alonso, Ruff, and Escobar. Well, with his RBI in the third inning tonight, Pete is now tied for the major league lead in RBIs. An all New York affair.
That was his first good changeup in the strike zone. Fried.
Alonso has 2 home runs in his career against Fried over the course of 26 at bats. And the curveball bounced foul, 1-2. This is Fried's 14th career start against the Mets, his 3rd this year. He beat the Mets here back in early May and then lost to Scherzer in Atlanta in July.
Yeah, 19 games total, ERA under 3.
You forget he was a reliever earlier in his career.
Right.
Now established as one of the best starters in the National League. No shift against Alonso. And Pete chops one up the third baseline. Fried off the mat. He's a great fielder. He throws it high, and Alonso's safe. Well, Fried's a Gold Glover, and he had a chance there, but didn't make a good throw, and Alonso is aboard with a base hit.
He got over there so quick and just couldn't pinpoint that throw. Yeah, he's mad at himself. He knows that's a play he can make.
Well, it scored a base hit for Pete, and he's 3 for 3. And let's keep racking up the infield hits. At least one a day.
It's like a vitamin.
There's Darren Ruff. Ruff was involved in that crazy play in the third inning. With runners with the bases loaded, he hit a ground ball down to first. They got the out at second. Couldn't record the out at first. Ball was thrown away and 2 runs scored on the play. 2-0.
$15 changeups tonight for Fried. Only 5 strikes. Only 2 swing and misses or swings on him. Another one there. He's just slowing his arm down just ever so slightly.
And Ruff fouls off the fastball, and it's 2-1.
Ruff's a big guy, boy, and he's swinging a very good bat. He's focused. New environment. Thrown right into a first place ball club.
He knows all about going to different environments. Went from the Phillies to 3 years in Korea, and then came back to the Giants, and now with the Mets. Samsung Lions, right?
Yep.
Inside 3-1. Those 3 years in Korea allowed him to really reestablish himself as a guy who could play every day. He's 36 years old now. And he is in the perfect spot now as the platoon partner with Daniel Vogelbach. That is some heavyweight combination. Chop toward third. In comes Riley, gloving and throwing on the run. It gets by. Alonso to third. Ruff will wind up at second. 2 slowly hit ground balls to the left side of the infield, and the Mets wind up with runners at second and third.
Be interesting to see this throw to first base. Whether I thought it wasn't that bad of a throw, but maybe I'm wrong.
Third error of the game for the Braves.
All from the left side of the infield.
Oh,
It's a good throw.
That's an
was-
E3.
That ball was in the air, and Olsen didn't catch it.
Yeah, you got to make that play.
Oh, we didn't get to it.
Well, see how he's on the back of the bag? If you come on the inside part of the bag, you've gotten a little closer.
Well, for now, they've scored an infield hit for Ruff and an error on Riley, allowing the runners to move up. Now second and third and nobody out for Escobar. The middle infielders are playing halfway. They're already down 3-0. Got to come in, don't you?
Maybe they're feeling as though Pete at third base,
Right.
hard hit ball, they'll have a Guillorme play at home.
Well, if it's not a hard hit,
I don't think Pete's going on contact.
except with the middle infielders back, maybe you do.
Maybe he does.
Not on the right side of the infield now.
Yeah,
The only spot is the shortstop.
Escobar's grounded out and flied out 0 for 2.
Had a chance to blow this game open.
Escobar skies one to shallow right. Acuna coming in. Olsen going back, and Acuna will come in to make the catch, and everybody will hold. That's the first out. So 1 away, and now Marcano. Canha's flied out and struck out 0 for 6 now in this series. Let's see how they play the infield now.
They got to come in a little bit. Riley's got to come in. I mean, there shouldn't be any change, and I didn't believe that. Riley. I mean, I'm sorry, Swanson should come in and maybe a couple steps.
You would think.
He's got to charge a ground ball, Gary, playing at that depth.
Because now with 1 out, you have to think Pete is going on contact.
So Swanson at that depth, anything hit to him, he's going to have to come to the ball quick.
Yep.
Which risks the chance of getting that in between hop. He's not going to be able to lay back for a long hop. He's going to have to come get the ball.
Canha hits the curveball just foul. And now he's down in the count 0-2.
Well, we mentioned earlier McCann got a big hit and really needed it. Canha needs one right now. This would be a big 2-out base hit. Would be huge. I'm sorry, 2 RBI base hit.
I think the Mets would settle for a sacrifice fly right now with a 2-strike count on Canha. Acuna before the pitch just moved about 10 feet toward right center.
Remember, Canha in his last at bat struck out on a pitch about neck high. Let's see if Max Fried goes back there.
Alonso at third, Ruff at second with 1 out. And Canha bounces one. Riley's got it. Off balance throw is too high, and Alonso is out. He says he's safe, and I'm pretty sure he was. I don't think Darno got a tag on him.
Darnell made a terrific athletic play on the tag.
I thought Pete slid into Darno and might not have gotten to the plate.
Well, we'll see. They called him out. That's quite a throw by Riley, and the Mets are going to challenge.
Darno didn't step into foul territory to give him a foul territory.
Oh, he's safe.
Target.
I think he never tagged him.
I think he's safe. Let's see.
Oh, he's out.
Oh, he didn't
He's
get
out.
to the bag.
He is out.
That is
He
a
blocked him from getting to the plate.
A heck of a play by Darno.
One of the best plays you'll ever see.
I mean, he's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Well, he is. Darno's a little woozy. He was kind of stumbling around behind the plate.
So C.B. Buckner just said it's not just about whether he's safe, but whether Darno illegally blocked the plate.
He had to go catch the ball.
Well, before he caught the ball, though, he was blocking home plate. I mean, that's an incredible turn. But the question is, did Pete's right foot hit the plate?
Oh, and his knee got him in the rib.
It looks like he might have hit the plate before he was tagged. I mean, right there.
Yep. Oh, it's close. What did they rule it?
They ruled it out. Meanwhile, Darno's pitch com went flying.
He's also woozy. He's walking very gingerly.
He is still a little shaken up. Boy, we've seen some wild plays in this game.
Pete sliding.
Good touch the plate. Maybe.
That's just a heck of a play and a good hard slide by Pete. Oh boy, that's close.
Like that cleat might have scraped the corner of the plate there, but can you overturn
for an out?
The out call on the field.
It's a critical call right now. Pete, 2 hard slides today.
Trainer's still out there with Darno. That's a tough one. Mark Carlson and Paul Emmel are the crew chiefs in the replay center.
I mean, Pete's a big guy, and he's exposed Darno.
Like he snapped his neck at some point.
The call is overturned.
So the Mets win the challenge. Alonso's safe at the plate, and it's 4-0 New York.
RBI for Canha.
They're going to give him an infield hit or a fielder's choice?
Fielder's choice.
Fielder's choice.
So was that a routine play at first for Riley?
Routine enough. He would have made that play easy at first.
So there's Pete getting a good jump where d'Arnaud did not get a good jump earlier in the game when Guillorme threw him out.
Mets have been very fortunate, and a lot of it comes from hustle, but a lot of calls have gone their way this year.
And you know, Gary, you mentioned that after that play with d'Arnaud, that a lot of players look tired. But you know what? Mets are energized.
Yep. And part of it comes from the guy on the mound tonight. He brings a certain energy, and I think it permeates this team.
You better keep up.
So the Mets have tacked on a run here in the 6th. Canha picks up his 35th RBI. Still only 1 out. Runners at first and third for Guillorme. Don't discount the squeeze bunt. Darren Ruff on third. And the curveball in for a strike.
So if the Mets hang on and win this game, they continue to beat opponents' best pitchers. We got 3 innings to go.
Jackson Stevens on call in the bullpen with Fried up to 90 pitches on the night. Ruff at third, Canha at first with 1 out. And Guillorme takes a fastball strike, and it's 0-2. Guillorme has already contributed with one of the unique defensive plays of the year.
And he's got to get a sac fly here. It's a big run on third base, that 5th run.
He struck out and grounded out in this game against the left-hander. And he gets tied up and goes down swinging. And Fried has a strikeout, his 5th of the night, 2 out.
Tough pitch to lay off. Good pitch. Good pitch selection by another 2-strike fastball in.
That's right. It's the 0-1 pitch, the fastball that he took. Was his only pitch to hit in that at-bat.
So now Nido got the Mets' 3-run 3rd inning started with a booming double to left. And he grounded out his last time up, 1 for 2.
Nido's asking d'Arnaud if he's all right.
Catcher's fraternity.
Yeah.
Well, Max has had a lot of rest.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I
in
do
this
too.
case. Yeah.
Because it's not going to affect his rhythm.
Max is at 93 pitches and desperately wants to give the Mets 1 more inning. And Nido hits one slowly. Olson ranging wide. Where's he going to throw it? And Fried gets over to cover, and they get the out. Some indecision by Olson. He looked to second, but he wasn't going to get Canha, so he had to spin around and find Fried, who got over just in time, and they get the 3rd out. Braves in-game box score brought to you by Spectrum. Switch and save up to 60%. Travis d'Arnaud has a pair of doubles. Not much else for the Braves tonight against Max Scherzer, who the Mets needed to go deep after using most of their primary relievers this afternoon. And he has outpitched Max Fried for the 2nd time in less than a month. Eddie Rosario leads off the 7th and takes a changeup inside for ball 1. Rosario has struck out and flied out 0 for 2. d'Arnaud is due up next. He has not yet come into the on-deck circle. He was definitely shaken after that play at the plate up with Alonso.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether he's able to stay in. And nope, it's William Contreras coming out on deck to bat for d'Arnaud. And Rosario goes after the fastball, and it's 1-2.
Rosario puts his hands up like, well, what's going on here? Every time I swing and miss.
5 times this season, Max Scherzer has gone 7 innings. Trying to get there again tonight to try and help out the bullpen. 1-2 coming. Struck him out. Got him with a cutter. That's 9 strikeouts for Scherzer. 1 down in the 7th. And now William Contreras will bat for d'Arnaud, and I'm sure they will take Travis down for some tests. He definitely looked dazed after that play at the plate.
It's a heck of a play.
Trying to block a polar bear.
Contreras caught the first game of the doubleheader. Had 2 hits and an RBI. It's 3 for 9 in this series.
That's from watching the game the other night. First pitch, Tommy Hunter gave up a home run to Contreras. So what does Scherzer counter with? First pitch slider.
Another way we're talking about the Mets bullpen, they did add an extra arm between games. Adonis Medina was called up. David Peterson, after his shutout performance in the first game, got rewarded by getting sent back to the minors. Here's the 0-2 coming in the dirt, 1-2. And that makes sense because they need to keep Peterson stretched out for his next start against the Phillies in that day-night doubleheader 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
So he'll go down to Syracuse, make a couple of starts, and then be ready to come back and start again for the Mets. After that, we'll see. 1-2 coming. Struck him out. 10 strikeouts for Max Scherzer. 5th time this year he's reached double digits. And 109 times now in his career.
Remarkable.
Wow.
Again, that sweeper we saw earlier in the game. He's got so many different variations on all of his pitches.
4th on the all-time list of double-digit strikeout games. Two out for Marcell Ozuna. And that cutter in for a strike. There's the list. Now 1 behind Clemens for 3rd all-time. The other 2 guys uncatchable.
Oh man,
He's toyed with Ozuna all night.
he's taking Ozuna to school.
I thought you were going to say the woodshed.
Ready for his 104th pitch of the night. 0-2 to Ozuna.
Well, he wanted that pitch. He wanted that pitch. You saw his reaction.
He was ready to hop off.
That was throw it as hard as I can on my last pitch.
Well, there'll be one more last pitch. One-two. Fouled away.
Came inside, Ron.
Well, that just sets the stage for another slider.
He made the pitch. Yep. Tip your cap to Ozuna to foul it off.
Slider off the plate. See if he goes deep sea fishing. Changeup.
And they got a piece of it.
Well, here we are trying to guess along with Max. We're about 50-50 up here. It tells you how tough it is.
Season high now, 106 pitches for Max. Trying to finish with a flourish. 1-2. He misses with the slider. 2-2.
Putting everything inside of him to strike out Ozuna here.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming.
Struck him out! Max Scherzer strikes out the side in the 7th inning. 7 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts. Scherzer doing what's necessary.
Wow.
What an inspiration.
What a finish. Folks, you're watching greatness.
Max Scherzer at his finest.
Pitched so far as a Met, and he came up aces. 7 scoreless innings, no walks, tied his season high with 11 strikeouts. It's quite the 1-2 combo that the Mets now have. With DeGrom back in the fold, he'll make his 2nd start of the year tomorrow. Scherzer has been magnificent. This is what Met fans have dreamed of.
To ask a 38-year-old on August 6th in the 2nd game of a doubleheader, you're going to throw the most pitches you've thrown all year, because we have to. You need to throw the most pitches, and he does it.
Where's his ERA at now, Gare?
That would be 1.98.
I have an interesting note for you here. Last year, when he went over to the Dodgers in 11 starts, he went 7-0 down the stretch. ERA 1.98.
I would do anything to be in that scrum. That's baseball talk.
Something special. Something special.
Now Jackson Stevens comes out of the bullpen for the Braves for his 2nd outing in this series.
Appeared in the 1st game, gave up a couple hits, was on the ropes, but got through it. Good curveball from Jackson Stevens. That's his out pitch.
William Contreras behind the plate. Pinch hit for d'Arnaud. Got shaken up on the play at the plate where Alonso scored the 4th Met run. And Nimmo was hit by the pitch. And it was a double hit. It got Contreras as well, and he's shaken up.
Jeez.
Nimmo was hit for the 11th time this year.
No, guys, we just saw Max Scherzer holding court with his fellow pitchers after coming out of the game, and that's something we see after every start. It's so interesting to watch and listen to Scherzer talk about how he likes to go about things when he comes out of the game. He wants to hear from the other pitchers. He wants to hear from his pitching coach immediately after his start, good, bad, indifferent, so they can talk about what they saw and what he felt when it was freshest in everybody's minds.
Starling Marte 0 for 2 and a walk. Gets curveball, bounces it slowly to Swanson. He flips to 2nd, gets the force. No chance to double up Marte. And that's the 1st out. Max Fried went 6, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, a walk, 5 strikeouts. Max Scherzer, for the 2nd time in a month, was the best Max out there. 7 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts.
He maxed out.
Lindor's 1 for 3 tonight. Six for 14 in this series. And takes curveball at his feet for ball 1. Michael Givens looks like he's going to get the 8th inning for New York. Braves will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. And then I would assume Trevor May would get the 9th. That's used Ottavino and Lugo and Diaz in game 1. There goes Marte. The throw by Contreras on a hop, and the good tag by Swanson, but too late. And Marte beats it. 13th stolen base of the year for Starling Marte.
The ball was there in time, but it was on a bounce. So Swanson has to get it on the bounce and go up, by the time he comes down. Yeah, he's safe.
He's safe.
Good call by Sherwater.
No challenge.
Whenever it bounces, that takes the fielder's glove up in the air.
Yes.
And by the time they rebound and get it down, it's that extra second.
That's where guys like Guillorme and Baez are better. Somehow they're able to get that ball down quicker.
They catch it straight, parallel to the ground instead of going up.
Lindor slashes one foul, and it's 1-2.
I'm just ripping that slider.
Bassett's
front arm
in the conversation with him. Walker and Carrasco listening in.
Yes.
You starting pitchers, man.
Yeah, we're out.
It's like a club.
Yeah, we're out there, man. I'm telling you. Listen, you do it enough. What other sport does the manager come out, take the ball from you, and give it to someone else and let the whole world know that he doesn't want you to do it anymore? You got to be out there to take that. Like I said, I'd give anything to be down there, be a fly on the wall.
One and two to Lindor with Alonso on deck. Yeah, that was a non-competitive curveball. 2-2. Pete's already got 3 hits tonight. It's like a different guy once he gets done.
He's still pacing.
Well, he's got a lot of energy left. It's hard to let that adrenaline all seep out of you at once.
Well, that Mr. Hyde is going away.
Right, the blue eye's taking over.
Guys. A smile. Job well done, Max. My goodness.
I'll say.
One of the chances, here's ball 4 to Lindor. What are the chances that you pay a guy $43 million a year and he might be underpaid?
He lives up to it. Well, he's all about living up to contracts. He's done it his entire career.
Well, nobody has ever been a better free agent signing as a pitcher than he was in Washington. And the Mets might feel the same way about him by the time his contract's up here. Now Alonso has already got 3 hits in this game. That's his average up to 283 for the year. 7 for 15 in this series. Mets are trying to win for the 11th time in their last 13 games. They're looking to stretch their lead to 5.5 in the National League East if they can win this nightcap. And Alonso with a chance to blow the doors off. And he takes a strike from Stevens, 0-1.
Remember, Stevens' best pitch is his breaking ball. We talked about it this entire series, how Pete is measuring that breaking ball right now. Anything down and breaking, he has been covering.
Buck would sure like a big base hit here. Have a couple runs this inning, and that would sit Diaz down for good.
Thought he was sat down for good in the first game.
Yeah, I don't think he's available in this game.
Well, you never know. I just, if the Braves score a couple runs, looking ahead. I mean, but if this gets to 6-0,
I think you're going to see Givens in the 8th and May in the 9th.
well, if the score is 4-0, yes. You got to put the hammer down and take 2. This doubleheader. and really send a message to that third base dugout.
Buck has been able to show patience all season long with his complete roster.
Well, as he says, it's a different time of year. A little different mode of operations now. Nonetheless, when he can be judicious, he will be. But if he has to put the hammer down, he'll do that as well. That's what he did the other night with Diaz.
Got to have the hammer.
Then he was forced to go to Diaz in the first game today when Yohan Lopez couldn't close the door. That was not part of the game plan, which leaves him probably without Diaz for this game. One to Alonso. And the curveball hit on the ground. Swanson to his right. He's going to have to go to first with it and barely gets Alonso. A lot of hesitation there by Swanson, who was first thinking about going to second, but Lindor was hustling there and he didn't have a play. So 2 in scoring position with 2 out. The road ahead brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Final game of the series tomorrow, 4 o'clock start with DeGrom on the mound. Then the Reds are in for 3 and the Phillies for 3 to complete this 11-game homestand. So now Darren Ruff facing the right-hander. Ruff had an infield hit in the 6th. And moves his feet on the fastball, ball 1.
We've seen many times in the series Buck has gone to the other DH, Vogelbach. But you wouldn't do that here because they would just walk Vogelbach and it would be on Escobar.
Well, not only that, but then you'd have to put Vogelbach in at first base or lose the DH.
You like this matchup here.
Because Ruff is playing first and Alonso's DHing in this game. 1-1 to Ruff. Now Ruff had a base hit against a right-hander in the first game today. Had a hit against Bryce Elder in the 8th inning. Marte at third, Lindor at second with 2 out, and Ruff takes it up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Out of town scores brought to you by Princess Cruise Lines. Rhys Hoskins, when he hit a home run in the first inning today, became the first Philly ever to hit first inning home runs in 3 straight games. Ever. Phillies go back to the 1880s. It's a long time. Ruff pulls one and almost took out Marte. Waves at Ruff and says, "Hey, I'm on your side." Ruff is 4 for 8 in this series and gets a curveball and flies it out to right center field. Harris and Acuna come together, and it's Acuna to make the catch. That retires the side. Mets strand 2. They'll go to the bullpen for the 8th, up 4-0. Coors Light, it's all about Max Scherzer.
The player of the game. That's that curveball or strikeout. Had everything working. The ability to sequence pitches in such a way that he had a lot of the Braves hitters off balance or taking pitches inside, balls when he needed to throw strikes when they thought it was going to be balls. Just was an amazing thing to watch.
Season high 108 pitches for Scherzer. Matched his season high with 11 strikeouts. Lowered his ERA to 1.98 inside the ballgame, brought to you by Stella Artois. Make time for the life, Artois. That's a scratched out 4 runs in this game, but Scherzer's been the story. Mets got shutout starting pitching from David Peterson for 5 1/3 in the first game. Shutout pitching for 7 from Scherzer in the nightcap. And now Michael Givens makes his 3rd appearance for the Mets.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy so far for Michael. Did get through his last outing here a day ago, scoreless.
Michael Harris, first man to face him. It's a weak ground ball. Guillorme comes in to get it. 1 pitch and 1 out for Givens in the top of the 8th.
This is, like you said, people are tired. Threw him a little dead fish sinker. Harris rolled it over.
I just think that Givens has pitched in so many big games, a lot of them for Buck Showalter. He is a guy that needs a little juice, you know, a little tough situation or tougher situation to get it going.
Ray Adrianza bats with 1 out. 0 for 2 in his first game of the season for the Braves after coming over in a deal from the Nationals. And the fastball runs inside for ball 1. Braves no runs and 4 hits. The Mets 4 runs and 6 hits. The Braves have only been shut out 3 times this year. This is a high-powered offense. And Givens gets the changeup in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Adrianza smokes one toward the right field corner, and that ball is off the base of the wall. And Adrianza will scoot into second base with a 1-out double. Only the 3rd extra base hit of the season for Adrianza.
Well, he scalded this one. Got the barrel out on a pitch down. Funky carom off that wall.
So now Givens will be faced with the top of the batting order with Adrianza at second. Acuna coming up. Acuna was overmatched by Scherzer tonight. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a foul out. That misses high. Ball 1. Acuna had 2 hits in the opening game of the doubleheader today after a 4-hit game last night. And checks his swing, takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. That's put the shift on against Acuna. 3 on the left side. Slider off the plate, 2-1. Dansby Swanson waiting on deck. If you're the Braves, you're just thrilled to have Scherzer out of the game, and that in and of itself might give you a little life. And that's poked into right center field for a base hit. And that'll bring in the Braves' first run. Adrianza scores. The throw goes to second, and Acuna slides in safely with a double. And now it's 4-1. So back-to-back doubles by Adrianza and Acuna, and the Braves are on the board. And they've got their big hitters coming up.
That's a good pitch, and he went right with it. That pitch was a slider down and away. Did not fool Acuna. Someone going to get up in that bullpen?
Not yet. Now that's about to change.
You don't want to let this one slip away, and I'm sure Buck's well aware of that.
It's going to be Joely Rodriguez getting up. Here's Swanson, who's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a foul out. And boy, would he love to change the narrative in this game. Swanson's made 2 errors in the field, got bailed out of a third by Olson, and he has had a rough night at the plate. Just 2 for 17 in this series. Slider in for a strike. The fact that Joely Rodriguez is up in the bullpen tells you for certain that Diaz is not available in this game. They've got to save Trevor May for the 9th inning.
Can Rodriguez get ready enough for Olson, or maybe he's getting ready for Rosario?
It's still 3 batters away. Not going to happen. Fastball off the corner, and it's 2-1. Olson on deck, then Riley and Rosario. Well, we've said it from the outset of this game. This game is of utmost importance to the Braves. And they are looking to rally with only 5 outs to play with. And Swanson fouls off the slider, and now it's 2-2. Two coming from Givens. Ground ball to third. Nice pickup by Escobar and an offbeat hop, and he throws him out. That's a terrific play by Eduardo Escobar. Big time play for the second out.
Stays in front, got his body in front of the ball. Tough in between hop. 2 hands. Well done. He's a steady third baseman.
See that he wanted to come in to try to get the short hop, but he could not.
Yep. And then he just said, okay, I got in between. I'm going to use both hands, get my body in front.
So 2 out. Acuna still at second. And Givens will stay in to face Olson, who's 1 for 3 in this game. Colin McHugh getting up in the Atlanta bullpen. And Olson slices one foul. A ball and a strike.
Givens is a down pitcher against the down hitter.
Austin Riley on deck. 1-1 to Olson, pulled, foul. And now Givens up in the count, 1-2. Acuna at second with 2 down, 1-2 to Olson. Ground ball, Guillorme circles in to get it. Side retired. Braves get a run, but Michael Givens gets 2 big outs. Ground balls from Swanson to Olson. It's 4-1. NY versus NYPD Battle of the Badges charity baseball game at Citi Field this Thursday, August 11th at 7:10 p.m. General admission tickets are $20 with all proceeds from the game benefiting FDNY and NYPD charities. For more information and to buy tickets, visit Mets.com/Battle of the Badges. Last of the 8th inning. Mets with a 4-1 lead, trying to sweep a doubleheader from the Braves for the second time this season. Jackson Stevens, who got in and out of trouble in the 7th, will stay on for the 8th. Braves still getting their defense aligned. I don't know what's going on out in right field. I think maybe something was thrown on the field and Acuna retrieving it. Eduardo Escobar will lead off for New York in the bottom of the 8th. Escobar has grounded out and flied out twice, 0 for 3. And he takes a fastball strike from Stevens. Canha and Guillorme to follow as the Mets look to expand on their 4-1 lead. That's a scratched out offense in this game. A blue pit by Alonso scored 1 run. Fielder's choice and an error scored 2 more. And then Alonso safe at the plate on a fielder's choice in the 6th as Trevor May gets ready for the 9th. And the curveball from Stevens misses. 2 balls and a strike. So Trevor May, in just his 2nd appearance back from the injured list, is going to be asked to get the save chance after Buck Showalter was forced to burn Diaz in the first game today. Remember, Yohan Lopez came in with a 6-run lead in the 9th inning and couldn't get the job done. That forced Buck's hand to use Diaz in game 1. That's smacked toward the gap in right center field by Escobar. Cut off by Acuna. Escobar trying for 2. Acuna with the 1-hop throw, and Escobar safe. Eduardo Escobar with a double leading off in the bottom of the 8th.
Good hustle, Escobar. Be a big run to pick up right here.
And a big hit from Escobar from the left side.
Good throw by Acuna, and Escobar just beat it.
Just got in.
Pulled that right arm out of the way so that Adrianza didn't have it to tag. And now Tyler Naquin is going to bat for Mark Canha to give the Mets a left-handed bat.
Got to advance the runner if you don't drive him in.
Naquin started the first game of the doubleheader, went 0 for 2. He's 3 for 8 in this series with a pair of home runs. And Naquin takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Buck Showalter continues to work his left-right platoons. And Naquin watches a fastball up and away, a ball and a strike.
Well, Buck Showalter always said the triples are the first 5 steps out of the box. Well, also for these doubles, hustling out of the box from the get-go, and that's the difference.
Naquin looking for something to pull to at least advance the runner. And he comes up empty on that fastball, and it's 1-2. Luis Guillorme on deck. Braves 1 run and 6 hits. They made 3 errors in this game. The Mets 4 runs and 7 hits.
2 unearned runs as a result.
And Naquin gets a curveball and lines it into left center for a base hit, and that'll chase home Escobar. Mets get an insurance run in the 8th inning. Tyler Naquin a pinch hit single to make it 5-1 New York.
Similar pitch, he hit the home run the other night to the opposite field, but this is a breaking ball more up in the strike zone and away. Goes with it nicely.
So on a day when the Mets have not hit a home run, they scored 8 runs in the first game. They've now scored 5 runs in the second game. There's Guillorme, still nobody out. 0 for 3 in this game. And takes a curveball for a strike. In the ninth, the Braves will have Riley, Rosario, and Contreras coming up. No longer a save opportunity for Trevor May, and that's just fine and dandy. Fastball outside to Guillorme, 1-1. Luis 3 for 12 in this series. There goes Naquin, and no throw by Contreras. Stolen base for Tyler Naquin. That's his 4th of the year.
Mets are just really putting on a clinic.
So another runner at second with nobody out. One-two coming to Guillorme. And Louis gets a curveball, hits it off the pitcher's leg. It deflects to Riley, who bare hands and throws him out. Advancing to third is Naquin. So an offbeat, productive out by Guillorme, a 1-5-3 putout. And we'll see how Stevens is now after taking that shot.
Breaking ball, BB, right off the back of his right calf, it looked like. Good reaction from Riley. Much like last night, Stevens is in there to finish the game for Snitker.
Trainers out there. Brian Snitker coming out as well to make sure Stevens is okay. They'll have him throw a warm-up pitch to make sure.
Well, right behind Acuna in right field as he surveys the field, and his pitcher taking a warm-up.
Well, if you're playing right field, there's a stolen base. Right before your very eyes.
Everyone's yelling, going, going. But Contreras could not find a handle.
So now the infield comes in with a runner at third and 1 out. Stevens pronounces himself okay. Tomas Nido will try and plate another run. Nido got the Mets started today with a leadoff double in the third, scored the first Mets run. Mets scored 3 in the third, 1 in the sixth. Now they've added 1 in the eighth. Naquin at third with 1 out. Nido with the squeeze play on, gets the bunt down, the run will score. The Mets run a suicide squeeze, and it gets another run home. Nido, the best bunter of the bunch, and he gets the job done with the squeeze bunt to make it 6-1.
How about that?
Perfect time for it after the pitcher has gotten hit by a comeback, taking a warm-up toss, and they run it on the first pitch.
I believe this is the first. Is this the first squeeze all year, Gary?
First suicide squeeze.
Yeah. Which means the Mets are on point. No missed signs.
Nido leads the National League in sacrifices. He was the perfect man in the spot.
Nice call, Buck.
And Naquin's like, we weren't doing this in Cincinnati, I'll tell you that.
10th sacrifice of the year for Nido. Mets are doing it all right now.
Oh, look how, go ahead, Ron, you're the expert here.
Well, the key was, see that lower half, he moves his body down, not just the bat. And also, he did not show the bunt till late. That's the key. You move your body down, the bat will come with you. Look at that right knee. Textbook from Nido.
Well executed.
He has really become a great bunter. Nimmo pops one up in foul ground, playable for Olson. That retires the side, but the Mets tack on a pair, and now they're 3 outs away from a doubleheader sweep. Brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyOffers.com. By Astound Broadband, powered by RCN. Visit Astound.com for fast, reliable internet. By Coors Light. By Big Time Bats. Go to BigTimeBats.com to see their collections. And by your Tri-State BMW centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Well, the Mets have been quite the machine over these last couple of weeks. Trying to make it 11 wins in their last 13 games. Tyler Naquin stays in the game in left field after pinch hitting. And Trevor May will make just his second appearance since coming back from the injured list.
Yeah, 60-day injured list for that right triceps inflammation, and his first big effort.
Faced the Nationals in his first outing on Wednesday, and now trying to wrap up a doubleheader sweep for the Mets. Riley, Rosario, and Contreras, the 3 men scheduled to face him. Mets won the day game today 8-5. 3 outs away from a sweep. And a fastball strike to Austin Riley. Riley's 0 for 3 today, 3 for 14 in this series. The Mets with a win would get to 30 games over 500 for the first time since 2006. 2006 is the only year in this century that the Mets have been 30 games over 500. Oh-2 coming. Struck him out. Trevor May goes upstairs to fan Austin Riley. 1 man down in the 9th.
Fastball away to start, slider inside, and then puts him away with high gas.
I think this Brave team, a little shell-shocked and demoralized. It's been a long day-night on the losing end.
The Mets win would push them 5.5 games in front of the Braves with 1 more game to play in this series tomorrow. Andy Rosario's 0 for 3, struck out twice and flied out. This game was all about Max Scherzer taking the ball in the second game of the doubleheader, knowing he had to get deep with the Mets having used most of their primary relievers, and Scherzer never better. 7 scoreless innings, no walks, 11 strikeouts. And now May trying to put on the finishing touches. This would also be a milestone game for Buck Showalter. If the Mets win, it would be career victory number 1620 for Buck. He would pass Ralph Houck for 20th place on the all-time list. To 2-0 to Rosario. William Contreras, the on-deck batter. It's been a day that's required a lot of thought on the manager's part. Popped up foul. Escobar tracking it, but that'll go back in the crowd. It's 2-1.
Well, it's a game where, as a manager, you have your ideas how things are going to unfold over the course of a couple games, but boy, do you have to tweak it, including Diaz pitching in game 1.
Right, that was the classic example, right? You figured 6-run lead in the 9th. We're home free. Didn't work out that way. Too high to Rosario, 3-1. But the Mets were able to build a big enough lead today. Get 7 out of Scherzer. Givens gave up a run in the 8th, and now May trying to close it down. First home appearance for Trevor May since May. And there's a strike. Rosario thought he had ball 4. But Manny Gonzalez called it on the corner, and it's 3-2. Three-two coming. Ground ball into the shift. Guillorme's there. 2 out. And now the Braves are down to their final out in this day-night doubleheader. Mets trying for their 4th doubleheader sweep of the season. They've won 3 doubleheaders. They've split their other 3 and trying to take 2 in one day yet again. Trying to do it for the 2nd time against the Braves. Contreras took over for Travis d'Arnaud, who was shaken up in a home plate collision. Struck out and is only at bat in the 7th. And the slider misses away, ball 1. The fans are doing a mock tomahawk chop at the Braves. And a fastball strike, 1-1.
It's more like a forget about it.
It's more like a waving goodbye. 1-1. Swing and a miss. And now May is 1 strike away. One-two. Just for the fastball. 2-2 to Contreras.
Got some real life on his pitches tonight, this Trevor May.
A little adrenaline.
Yep. It's beautiful.
Two-two to Contreras. And he hits one down the right field line over toward the corner. Marte looking up, and it's out of here.
Wow.
Contreras hits an opposite field home run. His 2nd home run in this series. And that cuts the Met lead to 6-2. Contreras homered in the 9th inning last night against Tommy Hunter. And he homers in the 9th inning tonight against Trevor May.
Both opposite field home runs.
This season he's averaging a home run almost every 13 at bats.
His 15th home run of the season. So the 3rd out on hold. And now Marcell Ozuna, who had a rough go of it against Scherzer tonight, foul out and 2 strikeouts. And Ozuna takes a slider for a strike, 0-1. Ozuna 1 for 12 in this series.
Fly ball hit to left. Naquin is there, and the ball game is over. The Mets sweep a doubleheader from the Braves for the second time this year. 7 scoreless innings for Max Scherzer, who struck out 11. The Mets are now 5.5 games in front. And for the first time since 2006, they've gone 30 games over 500 as they beat the Braves in the nightcap 6-2.
Well, it wasn't easy going offensively, but sometimes Max Scherzer seems to will himself and his team to victory when you have to have it. And boy, was he great tonight, and enough offense. And it ends with a big hit by a pinch hitter, Naquin, and a squeeze.
Just a fantastic game going all the way around. Scherzer shuts the door. DeGrom tomorrow, 4 o'clock. They have sent a message to that Brave dugout right there. They are 5.5 back, and they are on a roll, and the confidence is just exuding on this team.
So the Mets have taken 3 of the first 4 in this series by winning 2 in one day for the second time against the Braves this season. So much to like in this game. The great defensive play by Guillorme, the hustle by Alonso to score on the play at the plate. The Mets doing everything necessary, but Scherzer was the big story. 7 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts, lowered his ERA to 1.98. The game summary brought to you by Big Time Bats, and the Mets were big time today. They've reached the 2/3 point in the season, 30 games over 500, and 5.5 games in front of the Braves. And Buck Showalter now in the top 20 all-time in managerial wins, 1,620, passing Ralph Houck for 20th place all-time. Lots to celebrate for this Mets team. Long day of baseball and a successful one as the Mets sweep a day-night doubleheader from the Braves, 8-5 in the afternoon and 6-2 tonight. We'll come back with more from Citi Field in just a moment. Final game of the series tomorrow afternoon, 4:10 start. It'll be on SNY. Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Mets. Spencer Strider for the Braves. It'll be deGrom's first Citi Field start of the season. And boy, to have won 3 of 4 in the series and have deGrom going tomorrow after what Scherzer did tonight, the Mets are in a really advantageous spot.
They are in an advantageous spot, but it's the way they got there. You know, the way they're playing baseball tonight was just, as Keith said, it was kind of a clinic on watching a team not only play a tight game against a really good pitcher in Max Fried, but also coming with late runs, add-on runs. The defensive play by Guillorme was as good as I've ever seen.
Well, you know, you talked about this has been a long day of baseball, and both teams were tired. But the Mets had a little extra snap to their step. They are on a roll. I can just sense in that dugout over there, Gary, Ron, that the confidence is coming. And this is a big series for them to really, okay, we've sent a message over there. And, you know, they're going to have Philly coming in. Because not too long from now, we're going to go down to Atlanta. Things are looking great right now.
Mets won the first game of the series by hitting 4 home runs, but they won 2 games today and scored 14 runs without a single home run. This is the way the Mets play baseball, and it's working for them. 30 games over 500. More coming up in a moment.